Affairs. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm going to ask that Councilman Clovis come up as liaison to the Case Commission and our Case Commission Chairman, Robin Craig. As in the past, we've had a robust number of participants in the Christmas decorating contest. We really appreciate all the residents that participated and all of the judges that took their time to whittle it down to 3. I don't believe the third place winner is here today. Hernandez is? Okay, but it was the Hernandez family who took third place.
What's the address?
I don't have the address. Do you have the address, Berman?
14605
Okay. All right. We'll go on to the second place. And Robin, would you now announce that address, please?
13478 Kerr.
Okay, and it's Keith Dameron and Susan Dakin. We have representation here, and we're glad they're here. They're going to hear for their presentation of the certificate and a gift certificate from the Case Commission.
And they also won second place in the Halloween contest.
Oh, my God. Congratulations.
It'll help pay for the electric bill.
Absolutely. This year, but maybe not next. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, and coming in first place is Bruce and Beth Bird. Address?
13611 Pine Forest Court.
Did you have fun? Okay, good. All right, hope to see you here next year. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Moving on to the officials' reports. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Excuse me. Our Downtown Development Authority is finalizing the winners of our annual Southgate Business Awards. This is the 9th year for the recognition, and this year's categories are community engagement, longevity, new business, facade improvement, and the People's Choice Award. The People's Choice Award is open to the public and voting is available on our City of Southgate Facebook page. Over the years, the Southgate DDA has recognized many of our stellar Southgate businesses. We appreciate the contributions of all of our commercial establishments and wish them well in the new year. This year's winners will be announced at the State of the City address, which will be on Tuesday, January 31st. And speaking of the State of the City address, we will be changing venues due to the repurposing of the former Holiday Inn building. This year's address will take place at Crystal Gardens Banquet Facility on 4th Street. Our Southgate Rotary will once again be hosting the luncheon. Doors will open at 11:30 a.m. Tickets are available through the Rotary by contacting Mr. Steve Ollis at 734-658-8991, 734-658-8991, or contacting my office. Proceeds for the event will benefit the Rotary's Scholarship Fund for our high school students. I look forward to summarizing our accomplishments in 2022 and the many exciting projects and initiatives slated for this year. The support staff at our Southgate Police Department were recently commended by the Michigan State Police during the annual Law Enforcement Information Audit. Although we have a history of doing well during this audit, this is the first time that the State of Michigan Division Director's letter included specific recognition of our staff. Division Director Ms. Michelle Kleckler wrote in her letter, and I quote, "The responsibility of managing and ensuring the accuracy, security, and integrity of a criminal justice information system is a shared responsibility of all federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. It is evident that the Southgate Police Department and its staff embrace this management responsibility and philosophy," end of quote. The auditor went on to commend on how well the staff was prepared and mentioned them by name. Congratulations to Trina Lingal, Tyler Berta, and our new IT coordinator, Jason Rucker, for the work that they have performed on this audit process and for bringing such positive recognition to our Southgate Police Department. More positive news came to Southgate by way of our Southgate Figure Skating Club. The club was recently awarded third place in the State of Michigan Basic Skills Series team points competition. Each year, ice rinks from across Michigan host a basic skills competition. This year, 63 skate organizations participated. Skaters and clubs accumulate points throughout the year based on their placement during various competitions. This is the first time Southgate has received this prestigious award. Congratulations to all of our skaters, their coaches, their parents, and our Parks and Recreation Department for bringing this historical recognition to our city and the Southgate skating program. Lastly, the Downriver Community Conference still has weatherization grants available to our residents and renters who are income eligible. The program is designed to make homes more efficient by providing such things as wall, floor, and attic insulation, door and window sealing, furnace maintenance, and even refrigerator replacements. Please contact the DCC at 734-362-7027. 362-7027 for more information. The program is also featured on our City of Southgate website, and income eligibility guidelines are also listed. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
I have no report, thank you.
Mr. Treasurer?
Good evening. Just to make clear that the winter taxes are due by February 14th into the Treasurer's office. If they're late, you only have until February 28th to pay them at the City of Southgate. After the 28th, they go to Wayne County, and your winter taxes as well as your summer taxes, if those haven't been paid, will have to be paid to Wayne County, and of course, there's a penalty with that. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Roush?
No report.
Councilman Graziani?
The Board of Zoning Appeals met last week to review a couple of variance requests. There wasn't really anything significant. One request is about the placement of a privacy fence on residential property, and then the other was about certain signage that's going to be placed at a new business that's taking over the property that was occupied by Office Max at the Eureka on Dix. I think it was Office Max, and that just pertained to the size of the text, but the board ultimately granted both requests. Beyond that, I think the Dangerous Buildings Hearing Board will have a meeting regarding a property at 16133 Eureka, which is a home that sustained some serious fire damage within the last year. So the board's going to discuss the home's non-compliance with the city code and the property's future. That meeting's going to take place on Tuesday, February 7th at 3 o'clock in the council caucus room.
Okay. The school board met for the first time this year. Their first meeting of the year occurred, mostly housekeeping things. They held their elections for president and all the other offices. So the president is Jason Craig, the vice president is Andy Green, the secretary is Dr. Darlene Pomponio, and the treasurer is Rick Lamos. Every other member is a trustee. Councilman Kalovis.
Thank you. The Planning Commission did not have their meeting in January. They'll have a meeting in February. Please excuse me. I won't be doing a whole lot of talking. Excuse me. The cough is going around, chest cold. That's all it is. So we'll keep it short, and we'll save it for the next council meeting. Thank you.
Councilman Farrow.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Recreation met. We got updates on programs. All the programs across the city are just about sold out. They're all doing very well. And even though winter hasn't arrived, I don't believe fully here yet, we're looking forward to spring. And as we talked about our recreation millage and several projects in the process of getting quotes, Kiwanis Park, the pathway will be going, the dog park will have a grand opening in the spring. Plans at Splash Pad Market Center Park. There's plans underway to redo some area between Bath and Body Works and the park with some fencing. Cobb Park, basketball parking, and new fencing are all being worked on. Pickleball courts are being worked on, so there's a lot, there's going to be a lot of activity and recreation come the spring. Public safety did meet today. Police and fire both reported 2022 to be some of the busiest years on record. The fire department actually, December of '22 was the second busiest month on record for the fire department. And a little bit of dog-related news from public safety. On January 10th, Officer Parrish and her little puppy, Titan, attended their first puppy obedience class. And Officer Waza Canis and our new K-9 Recon have successfully completed their training and are now certified as of December 22nd as certified K-9 team here in the city. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman George.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tomorrow night, Thursday, January 19th at 7 p.m. is the pajama story time, and children can drop off their favorite stuffed animal for the stuffed animal sleepover. Then on Saturday, January 21st, the children can pick up their stuffed friend and see what happened during the sleepover. The Library Commission met last Wednesday. The library director presented results of the survey that was taken this year. Overall, patrons are very satisfied with the library and staff. There were very few negative comments. The patrons were very pleased with the staff and complimented them on being courteous, friendly, helpful, and knowledgeable. And I think we could say that probably with most of our city employees. The Adult Book Club started up Tuesday. The book chosen to read by the patrons is The Wish by Nicholas Sparks. They meet Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The Adult Winter Reading Program began January 9th and ends March 20th. Patrons read on their own for prizes. Pick up your bingo reading card at the library for the prizes. The Teen Advisory Club held their books, blankets, and beverage event on Saturday, January 7th. Several teens attended. They will host their next meeting Wednesday, January 25th at 6 p.m. And lastly, there will be an art show this year in April, and I'll present more on that later. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Pass it over to Mr. Marsh for the agenda discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. Under consideration of bids, we have 4 agenda items. The first 3 items are part of the Assistance to Firefighters grant that the Southgate Fire Department administered on behalf of ourselves, Allen Park, Lincoln Park, Trenton, and Wyandotte. Southgate and the other participating cities were awarded a total of $461,250 with a 10% cost share. This money is being used to replace a variety of equipment for our firefighters. As the host city of the grant, Southgate will receive the full grant amount, make payments to the vendors, and invoice the respective cost shares to the other cities. The bid recommendations were made from a committee which was made from representatives of Southgate and the other participating cities, and the portion of the cost that will be paid directly from Southgate is budgeted. So the first item under consideration of bids is the purchase of fire helmets. The administration is recommending the bid be awarded to Allied Fire Sales, Inc. of Spring Lake, Michigan for the not to exceed amount of $49,815. Are there any questions from council? Okay, seeing none. The second item under consideration of bids is the purchase of fire boots. The administration is recommending the bid be awarded to Municipal Emergency Services of Sandy Hook, Connecticut for the not to exceed amount of $53,615.70. Are there any questions from council?
Madam Chair.
Councilman Farah.
Just, Mr. Administrator, just for the public viewing, as we like to say up here, just so people realize on these awards, like on the boots, Southgate's portion of that is only $10,461. The rest of that, $53,000, is being absorbed by the other community. So we're not buying $53,000 in boots, we're buying $10,000. Actually, we're buying $1,000.
That's the key.
$9,000 is the grant, and the entire package of $53,000 is the entire Downriver Consortium.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Yeah, through the chair, this is what makes this grant really exciting, is that we're getting so much equipment, replacement equipment for a very minimal cost. Moving on, the next item is the last item related to the Assistance to Firefighters Grant, and this is for fire turnout gear. The administration recommends the bid be awarded to Allied Fire Services, Inc. of Spring Lake, Michigan for the not-to-exceed amount of $326,422. Are there any questions from council? Okay. Seeing none, the fourth item under consideration of bids is for tree and stump removal services for a 2-year period. The administration recommends the 2-year contract be awarded to Chop Tree Services of Milford, Michigan. Pricing specifics have been provided in your packets. Are there any questions from council?
I got a question.
Sure.
Councilman George?
Is stump removal included in the cost? It says stump removal, but I didn't see anything in the cost for stump removal. When they removed the tree, is the stump included in the
Yeah.
cost?
Correct. So they priced out by the diameter of the tree, and that's for the tree and the stump removal.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on to Communications A. The first item is regarding the March 2023 Board of Review dates and Board of Review member compensation. Our deputy assessor has provided a letter that will be read with the proposed dates and compensation rates. The administration is recommending a resolution approving both the March 2023 Board of Review dates and the Board of Review compensation as presented in the letter. Are there any questions from council? Okay, seeing none. The second item is related. It's a recommendation by the administration to approve the enclosed 2023 poverty exemption guidelines and application. Are there any questions from council? Okay. The third item is a request for waiver of bid and to extend the current contract with Freeport Supply Company for sand, topsoil, and 2-1A aggregate until January 6, 2024. The current fee schedule, at the current fee schedule. So they're not raising any prices for us this year. Are there any questions from council regarding the Freeport Supply bid extension? Okay, seeing none. The fourth item is a request for waiver of bid and to extend the current contract with Royal Roofing for roof leak and repair services for a 1-year period at the current fee schedule. The current fee schedule is $77 an hour for journeymen and $67 an hour for apprentices Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 and 5 p.m. And then $115.50 for journeymen and $100.50 for an apprentice on weekends, holidays, or weekdays after 5 p.m. Are there any questions from council? Okay, moving on to item 5. This is a request for waiver of bid and to purchase police department drones from American Air Operations. The department is looking to purchase 2 drones from the federal forfeiture account in the amount of $23,749. Are there any questions from council?
Glad to, through the chair.
Councilman Clovis?
Glad to see it. It's been on the news, in fact, this morning, or last night's news and early this morning's news for us insomniacs. It showed, I believe, Detroit or whatever, that they were watching or they were following somebody. And in fact, I don't know if this has it, I didn't read it, but will it pick up heat? I guess that would be, I get a nod.
everything.
So it will pick up heat,
Yes.
which is absolutely wonderful. And of course, like all of us believe, whatever keeps the community safe and the officers safe out there, $23,749 ain't bad.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a request for waiver of bid and to renew the contract with Davy Golf for golf course maintenance and golf management. The renewal is for a 5-year period and includes a 5% increase over the previous contract in the first year and a 1% increase in the remaining 4 years. Are there any questions from council?
I just had a quick question. Since it's recommended that we renew it, has the contract been going well? Like, is it netting positively and their management and everything with the golf course?
Yes, absolutely. So it's been going actually phenomenal. They've been doing great with the programming, and we've seen a net profit at the golf course since they've taken over.
Great, yeah, because there's a common misconception that people think that the golf course just basically is a money pit. So it's great to hear that things are profiting and we're going to continue it, hopefully. So, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, Madam Chair, prior to your tenure and Mr. Graziani's, some of the board members, our council members may remember when we were running quite a deficit. at the golf course. And over the last probably 6 to 8 years, we've turned that around. And this management company has also done a great job in adding to that. So appreciate your comment and the fact that we are moving forward on the golf course as well.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Kalobis.
Thank you. Boy, I echo those thoughts because that property, unfortunately, has always had a loss. And it goes all the way back to when that place was called, I think, like Mrs. Robinson's or whatever. And it was a loss then. In fact, at one time, they were evicted. During that period of time reinstated, but it's always been a loss, and it's so nice. I was thinking the same, but I was afraid to ask the question, was there a profit? So that's so glad to hear it.
Madam Chair,
Councilman George.
what about the clubhouse? Is there any improvements there too? I mean, we've always had a problem with them, service, the hours.
Through the chair, as far as improvements at the clubhouse, are you referring to in terms of the hours of their operation or the?
Overall, yeah.
So I have not received any complaints about the hours of operation. I know it seems like it's going really well over there, both in terms of the programs that they're running and just the golf that they're selling. They do have a clubhouse where they do sell merchandise there as well. But as far as additional improvements, there's not any that I'm aware of coming up.
Okay, thank you.
Chair,
Councilman Graziani.
do we know off top what the revenue is for the golf course? Because I noticed there's this performance incentive where Davy will get 10% beyond the 300,000 in revenue. I'm assuming it's not that, but.
Yeah, so I have the revenue here from 2021 and 2022. We were at $311,900 for the golf course. And this year, as of the end of 2022, we were at $341,090. So it was, and part of that, you benefit from a mild fall, where you can get a little extra golf in there, but it was well attended.
Is that gross or net?
That's the revenue, so that's not the profit.
Okay.
As of 12/12 of this past year, it was $341,000 revenue, $299,000 expenses. So there was $40,000 net.
And we've been continuing outsourcing the pro shop services or what? Is this the first time for this year?
2 years ago?
I believe it was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the transition happened, I believe, in 2021 is when the transition happened, where it was complete, all operations were handed over to Davy Golf.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the final item on the agenda is for a waiver of bid and for a 2-year contract extension with Quint Plumbing for plumbing repairs at the current rates. Those current rates are as follows: $50 an hour for journeyman or apprentice work on weekdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., $60 an hour for journeyman on weekdays after 5 p.m., weekends and holidays, and $50 an hour for an apprentice on weekdays after 5 p.m., weekends and holidays. Are there any questions from council?
Madam Chair.
Councilman George.
Not a question, just to comment, as today when I talked to you, that a lot of these companies that are that were extending their bids, and they're keeping the same price. I mean, which is unbelievable, because we know the cost of things now. I don't know of anything that's remained the same. Everything's gone up. So I applaud the administration and the companies for holding on to their the bid price, and many of them were low bid when it was bid out initially.
Thank you. That is all.
With that being the last item on the work study, we will reconvene at 7 o'clock.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Zemecki is excused. Councilman Roush?
Here.
Councilman George?
Here.
Councilman Farah?
Present.
Councilman Clovis?
Present.
Councilman Graziani?
Present.
Councilman Cuspa.
Here. A motion is required to approve the work-study session minutes dated January 4th, 2023.
Madam Chairman,
Councilman
I
Roush.
make a motion we approve the work-study session minutes dated January 4th, 2023.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by Calovis. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. A motion is required to approve the regular city council meeting minutes dated January 4th, 2023.
Madam Chair,
Councilman George.
I move to approve the regular city council meeting minutes dated January 4th, 2023.
Support.
Motion by George, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. There's no scheduled persons in the audience. The first item under consideration of bids is a letter from the mayor regarding bid for purchase of fire helmets. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the fire chief, and I concur, to award the purchase of replacement fire helmets to Allied Fire Sales and Service, LLC, in the total amount not to exceed $49,815. This is a regional bid as part of the Assistance to Firefighters Grant and includes the communities of Allen Park, Lincoln Park, Trenton, Wyandotte, and Southgate. Sufficient funds are available in the fire department budget for Southgate's share of the purchase.
Madam Chairperson.
Councilman Clovis.
Thank you. I make a motion, through my coughing, I make a motion that we adopt the fire chief's recommendation to award the purchase of replacement fire helmets to Allied Fire Sales and Service, LLC of Spring Lake, Michigan, the total amount not to exceed $49,815. Thank you.
Motion by Clovis, supported by George. Any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Farah.
just so people are aware, this is a regional bid that includes Allen Park, Lincoln Park, Trenton, Wyandotte, and Southgate. We are the host city for this funding under a federal assistant firefighters grant. Southgate's share, we will receive $9,720 in helmets for a net cost to the city of $972 out of that $49,000 bid. So just so people are aware, it's a 10% purchase for us. It's a real heck of a deal.
Any further discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Second is a letter from the mayor regarding bid for purchase of fire boots. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the fire chief, and I concur, to award the purchase of replacement fire boots to Municipal Emergency Services in a total amount not to exceed $53,615.70. This is a regional bid as part of the Assistance to Firefighters Grant and includes the communities of Allen Park, Lincoln Park, Trenton, Wyandotte, and Southgate. Sufficient funds are available in the fire department budget for Southgate's share of the purchase.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush.
I make a motion to concur with the fire chief of the administration and award the purchase of replacement fire boots to Municipal Emergency Services of Sandy Hook, Connecticut, in the total amount not to exceed $53,615.70.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by George. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Third is a letter from the mayor regarding bid for turnout gear. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the fire chief, and I concur, to award the purchase of replacement turnout gear to Allied Fire Sales and Service, LLC, in the total amount not to exceed $326,422. This is a regional bid as part of the Assistance to Firefighters Grant and includes the communities of Allen Park, Lincoln Park, Trenton, Wyandotte, and Southgate. Sufficient funds are available in the fire department budget for Southgate's share of the purchase.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Farah.
I move we concur and award the purchase of replacement turnout gear to Allied Fire Sales and Service, Spring Lake, Michigan, total amount not to exceed $326,422.
Support.
Motion by Farah, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Mayor.
before we go on, Councilman Farah had indicated that this is only a fraction of the cost of what Southgate's going to, and I just want to commend our fire chief, Mark Hatfield, for putting this grant together. Obviously, he had some help, but he was the instigator behind this grant, and the fact that there's a lot of hoops that you have to go through on federal grants, and to do something this large is really commendable. commendable. So I want to make sure that he's acknowledged for the work that he has done on this. It's approximately $100,000 worth of equipment for Southgate at the cost of under $10,000. So it's a great effort, and we really appreciate what he's done for the department.
Thank you.
Lastly, there is a letter from the mayor regarding bid for tree and stump removal. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the DPS Director, and I concur, to award a 2-year contract to Chop Tree Service for tree and stump removal. Sufficient funds are available in the general fund and major and local street funds for these services.
Madam Chairperson.
Councilman Kulovas.
Thank you. I make a motion that we adopt the recommendation of the DPS Director and award a 2-year contract to Chop Tree Service of Milford, Michigan for tree and stump removal as set forth in the bid attached. Thank you.
Support.
Motion by Clovis, supported by George. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. There's no scheduled hearings. The first item under Communications A is a memo from the Finance Director regarding March 2023 Board of Review dates. Madam Clerk.
This communication is to request that City Council approve the following dates for the 2023 March Board of Review. Tuesday, March 8th from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Tuesday, March 14th from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesday, March 21st from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. The following date may be utilized if necessary on Thursday, March 23rd from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. The Board of Review will meet each day for up to 10 hours per day with a 1 hour and 30-minute break if possible. Appointments will be scheduled 5 to 10 people per hour. Additionally, petitioners will be given the opportunity to appeal by mail if they are unable to appeal in person. In addition, please also approve each Board of Review member's compensation at $200 per day with $100 per half-day. This office also requests that additional expenses be set at $200 per day.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Farah.
I move this council approve the dates as set forth in the letter for the March Board of Review, as well as the compensation listed by Deputy Assessor Esther Graves.
Support.
Motion by Farah, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Madam Chair,
Councilman
will
George.
this be put on Facebook and on the city channel so people are aware of the dates? Thank you.
Moving forward, the second item is a memo from the Finance Director regarding 2023 poverty exemption guidelines. Madam Clerk.
I have reviewed the above with the Deputy City Assessor and concur with the request for City Council to approve the 2023 poverty exemption guidelines and application.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chairperson.
Councilman Kulovas.
I make a motion that we waive the bid and we adopt the DPS. I'm
Nope.
sorry,
Second item.
am I missing something?
It's the poverty exemption guidelines.
Sorry.
Madam Chair, I'll make the motion.
Go right ahead. Why don't
Councilman
you make the
George.
motion? I'll withdraw mine. I apologize.
I
George.
move that we concur with the
Excuse me.
request to approve the 2023 poverty exemption guidelines and application as requested by the Deputy City Administrator.
Support.
Motion by George, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, it passes. Third is a letter from the mayor regarding bid extension of 1 year for sand, topsoil, and 21A aggregate. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the DPS Director, and I concur that the current contract be extended with Freeport Supply Company until January 6, 2024. The contract extension will maintain the current pricing of topsoil at $14.95 a ton, sand at $10.74 a ton, and 21A aggregate at $10.40 a ton. Sufficient funds are available in the Water and Sewer Fund budget for this pricing.
Madam Chairperson, once
Councilman
again.
Kulovas.
Thank you. There's a reason why there's a retirement age. Anyway, I make a motion that we waiver a waiver of bid and that we adopt the DPS Director recommendation. The current contract be extended with Freeport Supply Company until January 6, 2024. The contract extension will maintain the current pricing of topsoil at $14.95 a ton, sand at $10.74 a ton, and 21A aggregate, whatever that may be, at $10.40 a ton. Thank you.
Support.
Motion by Clovis, supported by Farah. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Fourth is a letter from the mayor regarding a bid extension extension of 1 year for roof leak and repair services. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the DPS Director, and I concur, that the contract with Royal Roofing Company be renewed for a 1-year period. The contract renewal will maintain the current fee schedule for roof leak and repair services. Sufficient funds are available in the general fund for this budget extension.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush?
I make a motion, we waive the bid and we extend a 1-year contract extension with Royal Roofing for the roof leak and repair.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by Farah. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Fifth is a letter from the mayor regarding bid for purchase of a DJI Matrix 30T drone and a DJI Matrix 30 drone. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the Director of Public Safety, and I concur with his recommendation to purchase a DJI Matrix 30T drone and a DJI Matrix 30 drone from American Air Operations for $23,749. Adequate funds are available in the federal forfeiture account for this purchase. Your favorable consideration of this matter is greatly appreciated.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Chair,
Councilman Farah.
I move this council approve or concur with the recommendation of the public safety and recommend the purchase of a DJI Matrix 30T drone and a DJI Matrix 30 drone from American Air Operations in the amount of $23,749.
Support.
Motion by Farah.
Madam Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry, and we waived the bid.
Waive the
I was
bid.
gonna say he needs to add waive the bid.
Motion by Farah, supported by George. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Chairperson.
Councilman Colobus.
And both of these DJ Matrix, they don't play music.
Yes, they do.
DJ,
Actually,
don't give up my day job. Don't give up my day job.
Can't play
Okay.
music.
Trying to add a little light to it.
Rule, that's what happened.
Well, I'm sorry?
They do play
They
music.
actually do play
They
music.
do play music.
They
While
have the
they're,
ability to play
while
music.
they're helping get you arrested, they play music.
And
Okay.
what's the song?
Bad Boys, Bad
Bad Boys, Bad Boys.
Very good. That's
If you
good.
hear that, Madam Chairman, if you hear that above your house, be concerned.
Either that or run away.
Madam Chair.
Councilman George.
I would just like to say, I think this is great. We see on the news all the time where you've had drones that have been very helpful for the police department. And I would like to let the public know, too, that this is for the police department. I did talk to our city administrator today to make sure, because some people probably think, well, we're going to go snooping. If a neighbor complains, we're going to go and use a drone and go in their backyard. They're not going to be used for that purpose. They will be used for police work, which I'm sure is going to provide a lot of assistance to our officers. And I think it's exciting that we're getting them. Like I say, we talked today, there's a big one, there's a little one, and it sounds like they do just about everything. And we've got officers already trained to use them, and with the additional ones that we're getting, we're going to have more of our officers are trained. So it's going to be very beneficial for the police department, and I'm thrilled that we're getting them.
Thank you. Oh, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, Madam Chairman. Thank you. Thank you for those comments, all the council that commented on it. But I also want to applaud council in supporting this next step in technology for our police department. You've been very supportive of this administration as we try to employ various technologies over the years that have been very resourceful for the community in various departments, but primarily in our public safety. And this is going to prove to be, I think, one of those purchases that we're going to really see benefit of as the time goes on.
Thank you. Moving forward, the sixth item is a letter from the mayor regarding a recommendation for golf course maintenance and golf management contract renewal. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the Recreation Director, and I concur, that the contract with Davy Golf be renewed for a 5-year period starting in 2023 and ending in 2027. The contract renewal includes a 5% payment increase in the first year and 1% increases in the remaining 4 years. Sufficient funds are available in the Recreation Department to cover costs associated with these prices.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair.
Councilman Farah.
I move that this council agree with the Recreation Director, waive the bid, and extend renew the contract with Davy Golf for a 5-year period starting in 2023 and ending in 2027.
Support.
Motion by Farrer, supported by Clovis. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Madam Chairman.
Councilman
I just
Roush.
want to make a comment, because we talked about it earlier, but anyone that knows, I mean, I've sat on the council for many years, and the golf course has always been a sore eye to the city, because it hasn't always made money, but it finally turned the corner, so this is a good thing for the city, it really is, because it's been for many years that people would always, I mean, we actually, the state stepped in at one time and told us we had to fix it, so I'm glad that we finally turned the corner, it looks like it's on a positive note, so that's a good thing. Thank you.
Great.
Lastly, a letter from the mayor regarding a bid extension of 2 years for plumbing repairs. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the DPS Director, and I concur, that the contract with Quint Plumbing for plumbing repairs be renewed for a 2-year period. The contract renewal will maintain the current price schedule for plumbing repairs. Sufficient funds are available in the general fund and water and sewer funds.
Madam Chairperson.
Councilman Clovis.
Thank you. I make a motion, we waive the bid, and we adopt the DPS Director recommendation that the contract with Quint Plumbing for plumbing repairs be renewed for a 2-year period. The contract renewal will maintain the current fee schedule for plumbing repairs. Thank you.
Support.
Motion by Clovis, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. There are no items under Communications B. There's no ordinances. Is there any old business the council would like to discuss? Seeing none, is there any new business the council would like to discuss? Seeing none, we'll move on to unscheduled persons in the audience. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address the council, please come up to the podium and state your name and address. Seeing none, we'll move on to claims and accounts. Councilman Graziani.
Move this council approve warrant 1465 in the amount of $2,127,529.58.
Support.
Motion by Graziani, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chairperson.
Councilman Clovis.
Motion to adjourn. Any support?
Support.
Motion by Clovis, supported by Farrer.